And on this journey that I'm on, right? On this journey that I'm currently trying to complete. I always say that it's about the journey. Um, One day when you guys see me somewhere, and I'm giving all these reasons as to why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve, you know, what's driving me, who do I do it for, and yes, I'm gonna tell you things like how I do it for God, and how I do it for my family, how I do it for, you know, um, all these people, and but to be honest with you, to genuinely be honest with you, I started doing it for myself, and I honestly believe that even right now, I'm still to some extent just doing it for myself, you know. Um, Sometimes you're put in a situation where you have to choose for yourself what it is that you want to stand for, where because of circumstances, you find yourself in a position where it's either you're going to go this route or you're going to go this route. It's either you're going to do or die. And for me, unfortunately or fortunately for me, I had to do. you know um I always also say that you never want to do anything for anyone. When I was growing up, I got to see this moment where I was driving with my dad. It was just the two of us, and he opened up with me and started explaining how he does all these things for the family, and he feels like sometimes he's just not seen, and it's very difficult for him, like, to just always just be giving his best, and we don't know what he goes through, but we don't show appreciation, basically. And at that moment, obviously, being as young as I was at that age, I did comfort him. I did say that we did see his work and we did understand what he goes through. Obviously would never be able to see it from his point of view, because we're not the ones who are actually going through what he's going through. We can't feel as much as he feels. But we're always grateful, we were always thankful, and even to this day we are always grateful and we're always thankful. But in that moment, I did see that doing things for other people, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, making yourself do things that you feel that are uncomfortable for other people. Growing up in my journey, I said I didn't want to put myself in that position. I said I never wanted to put myself in a position where my life's work, all that I've sacrificed for my life, for my family, I never want to get it to a point where I feel so unappreciated because I've put the value of whatever it is what I'm doing, that value of it on the people that are benefiting from it. I said I never want it to be a case of I've done things for other people, sacrificed for other people, and them not being grateful for it, or them taking advantage of it, makes me feel a certain type of way. I never want myself to be governed by an external force, that if something doesn't validate my work, I cannot say that my work is good. I cannot take pride, I cannot love my work because, something else has to validate that work for me. I hope you guys can understand what I'm trying to tell you. That I said to myself that I do it for myself because I never want it to be a case of I'm doing it for someone who's ungrateful, and whatever I've done for that person, I'm now resentful towards them. I now feel mad at them. I'm now upset with them because of that. I never want myself to feel something because of someone or something that's external. So yeah, I saw him in that light, and I felt bad. I felt bad. And I said for myself that in my journey, if I ever achieve something and there are people who get to benefit from that achievement, then that's what it is. I want to be able to give to other people without expecting anything in return. If they take it, if they don't show appreciation, if they spit in my face afterwards, that should not have any effect on what I was doing. I know what type of person that I am. I'm a person who loves my family. I'm a person who cares for my family, that regardless if they may not show that care or that love back, that shouldn't change my love for them. I always like to say that if external things are in control of your life, then you are not in control of your life. whatever those things are in control of your life. Powerful people choose what they want for themselves, and then they allow the world to shape itself around them. So for me, in this case, I do it for myself. All that I'm trying to achieve, I'm genuinely just doing it for myself. I wanted to see what I could do. I wanted to see where I could reach. I wanted to see if I could be the best. I wanted to see if, and if I one day have a family that is benefiting from that, that's what it is. I can never say you guys are not grateful for benefiting off of my dreams and my passions, what I want to achieve. This is why I also say it's important to do something in your life that you love, not because you want to pay bills or not because you want to, whatever it is. There's nothing worse than going to a job, to a work that you are not happy with, but you're just doing just because you want to pay the bills. Because when you understand how long life is, that place will become like hell to you. So yeah, man, I just wanted to say that I have to do it for myself. This has to be for me. And if one day I help people, I want to be a person where I'm able to help people without expecting anything in return, where I can just give to someone and, it shouldn't be a case of now I want this or there's hidden favors behind it. But, if one day I ask you for help and if you don't help me back even after I helped you, that's okay, because when I gave you, it didn't have any latch to it of you're going to have to help me back by force next time, or anything of the sort, But